have a letter here from the Roberts family. So here goes. I'm going to open it with you here, and I am so excited. I can't believe it. Finally, it's taken long enough. Turn the camera off. Turn it off.
Have you ever wondered what it's like to be an actress? Well, I have. So this year I'm setting out to document the lives of 8 actresses, each from different backgrounds and each in varying stages of their career.
Would you like the grand tour?
My journey takes me from London's celebrated West End to the calm and tranquil Angers in rural France, then on to the bright lights and bustle of New York City, and back again. And I find out just what it takes to survive in one of the toughest industries out there.
Bang!
So join me on my odyssey as I turn through the pages of Actress Diaries. I've heard that an actor's craft is a sacred thing, deeply personal, private, and only ever discussed in hushed tones. I'm fascinated by this, so at the risk of being a nosy Parker, I ask my actresses about the personal methods they use to approach a role.
If at any point my dressing gown gapes, for God's sake tell me.
I have spent years working on my craft, so this deplorable letter from Eric Roberts on behalf of the Roberts family will not deter me from my goal.
What I do is I learn my lines really well, so I know them inside out, back to front, rain or shine.
Well, I once had to cry in an audition, so what I did was I thought about the time that I lost my small Sylvanian family's rabbit on the school oval, and I mean, for me, that was a really traumatic experience. And, I was able to bring up a lot of deep-seated emotions, and I was able to cry. But my big mistake was that I practiced crying beforehand, and when I got to the actual audition, I couldn't squeeze out a drop.
I ask myself 3 questions. What does my character need? What do they want? And what is the obstacle stopping them from getting what they want?
I have a few things that I always do. 1, I always sleep as the character. 2, I always make a cake as the character. I wear leggings as the character.
I started to approach my character from the underwear. And that always worked for me. Because the character who's going to be wearing, say, Spanx isn't the same as someone who would, wear crotchless knickers, for example. So I always use my underwear as a way in.
I use every method at my disposal when preparing for a role. I have studied every acting technique.
Your Brecht, your Shakespeare, your John Barton, your Meisner, your the Stan Toolkit.
Stanislavski's early work to Stanislavski's later work.
This guy knows what he's talking about some of the time.
Practical aesthetics, Mamet work, Chubbuck work. I've done emotional substitutions. I've done animal work. I spent a month up a tree as a sloth, preparing for a particular role once. I am forever preparing. My life is my preparation, and my preparation is my life's work.
I'd also like to know how these methods help them find the truth of their characters.
Well, it doesn't necessarily help me find the truth in the character that I'm playing, but if you don't know your lines, you could get sacked.
Laurence Olivier said to his fellow cast member, "Your motivation is payday on Friday," which I think is wonderful. It's show business, and there's show and there's business. And Daddy's a very successful businessman, and he always said to me, what's the 3 most important things in any business? The money, the money, the money. Oh, you have to sleep on the streets to play a homeless person, or you have to be a prostitute to play No, of course you don't. Just go into your imagination and find the truth there.
Once you find those answers, you can build this person to be real, to make them real. If I imagine that I'm trying to be truthful,
I just got to think, like, what's the real, truthful way this person would react? Oh, that's how I'll do it.
You have to humanise and sympathise in a way, or empathise with your character, because they are a human. Doesn't matter who they are, what bad things they've done, what good things they've done. They're still a human being.
My life's work is finding the truth of a character. My life's work is understanding humanity, because I truly believe that we are actually all just one human being, and the soul just moves around each different person very, very swiftly. And so our consciousness is shared and is zigzagging. Right now, you watching this and I are the same, one in the same. You're just not a famous and successful actress, and I am. And that is okay. You have your path, and I am sure it's wonderful. That is why I am no longer upset about the cease and desist letter from Eric Roberts, because in a way, I wrote that cease and desist letter to myself. And you know what? It is not going to stop me. In fact, it has fired me up something incredibly. And you know, here I am on television, wearing a hoodie, my hair greasy because unfortunately you just barged in. But that is okay, because you are seeing Roberta Roberts' vulnerability, her humanity, and I am proud of that. While it was initially a shock to get that letter, it actually is a wonderful thing. And it's a very hard lesson to face rejection initially. But I am an actress. It's what we do. We face rejection. We look it squarely in the face and we say, not today. To quote Game of Thrones, a series that I would be fantastic on, by the way. You are not stopping me. I am keeping going straight like an arrow, occasionally swerving around a tree to hit the target. And that is what it is to be an actress.
After all this philosophical and technical talk, what I'd really like to know is if my actresses are happy doing what they do, and if the whole arduous process brings them joy at the end of the day.
Yes, it does. And it really does. And I know that I've had to maybe learn that through this process. At the end of the day, I wouldn't truly do something I didn't enjoy.
Does the process of acting bring me what?
Joy and fulfillment.
Joy and fulfillment. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. But the trouble is that it's very, very short-lived.
Yes, it brings me joy when I do it, which is never.
Sure, it's really difficult sometimes. You wonder if you're ever going to act again, or if you're ever going to even get an audition, and you compare yourself to others and you see other people working, and it's really hard. It's really hard.
So basically I'm in a constant state of unjoyfulness. I haven't actually got anything to show for my 2 years of auditioning since coming out of drama school.
You finish the run or you walk off set and it's gone. You know, the magic it just disappears. And that's the terrible, wonderful thing about it. And so you go constantly searching for the next hit, the next high, which is exhausting, really.
It's an addiction. Not in a bad way.
It makes me really happy. It's free. Yeah, because I used to pay loads of money to go on the roller coasters by myself because no one will come with me, but it's expensive, and so I read a monologue and I get the same thrill, so I just perform by myself. This whole process of acting and being an actor, does that bring you joy and happiness? Yes.
And finally, before I take my leave, I'd like to know one thing they would change about themselves, their career, or the world in general.
What's one thing you would change if you could?
Definitely the Tories. I'm just joking. I'm not joking, I hate them.
Well, there are maybe one or two people that I would choose not to work with if I had the gift gift of hindsight.
Are you alluding to the affair that you had with the director you worked with?
Absolutely not. Utter rubbish.
Well, I have thought about this for a while now, but I would extend my nose. I love Barbra Streisand. She's all about the nose. So I would just lengthen it. They'd say, wow, what an actress and what a nose, you know?
The one thing I would change is I would have stronger roles for women over 40, because I do think that we're not well served by the industry. Men are allowed to age like fine wines, but we have to, go for the and the and I don't think that's very fair at all. I think we get much more interesting the minute we hit 40. You couldn't pay me to be 20 again.
Just to be seen as a person rather than an image. I like to think that there's someone who's going to just give me a chance to let me show them that I'm not just another Indian girl and I can only play Indian roles.
Being given a chance, an actual chance to show what you've got.
And that in turn has made me realise that I can't change who I am, even though I try. This is who I am and it will just happen in my own time.
But I wouldn't just say that for acting. I'd say that for the entire world, really.
I think I would change my luck because I feel that I've been very unlucky as an actress. Either that or there's something severely wrong with me. Because there's a lot of pressure and expectation placed on you as an actress and it's really difficult, And when you're not working, that can really get to you.
Anyone should be able to do anything, and we should be able to help everyone be an actor. Although if everyone was an actor, I wouldn't have a job. Maybe encourage more people to do the writing too.
I wouldn't change anything about my life. Even this moment with greasy hair being recorded shows the reality and the depth of character of Roberta Roberts. This is just step one on the enormous marble sweeping staircase of Roberta Roberts' career and life. So I don't change anything. This is the way it is meant to happen. And I am just so excited to see what happens next. So you just stay tuned because it's gonna be huge.